Yo, what is going on with these drones off the coast of New Jersey, man? We got a congressman making claims. We got the Pentagon coming out and disagreeing. Dude, also, the Pentagon is doing some crazy stuff with AI. And like, what's going on with all of that? Let's get into it real quick, guys.
This is dangerous for the whole country. I mean, just think about this. If we have objects in the sky that are the size of an SUV over any city, over any state, it's an invasion of our airspace. In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states, particularly New Jersey, where we know the incoming president has a large home, also in the same county or nearby where some of these drones in New Jersey have been seen.
Yo, it's just hilarious to see her staring right in your face at the camera when you take this next video into context, man. Oh my God.
Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
No.
Yo, whoever this dude's intelligence agency asset, he made him look like a fool. Yo, he came out on national television and facepalmed so hard it just cracks me up. It's just hilarious to see. And the Pentagon to come out the next day. The Pentagon, and who knows, man? They might be like, yo, F this dude. What is he doing worrying the public? I mean, who knows? What if it is? What if he's right and they're just saying this to calm people down? You know what I'm saying? But dude, oh my God, it's just, the dichotomy between the two and the irony between two institutions of government. It's like you clearly have two different factions in here, right? That want to promote two different narratives to influence the populace in two different ways relating to this situation, and to watch the disparity in the two narratives just smack each other in the face. It's just hilarious, dude. Like, cracks me up, man. Dude, whoa, you know what else about the Pentagon? This is what's crazy about the Pentagon. In the middle of all this, Pentagon just announced a whole ton of money for a new AI cell. Like, what is going on? The Pentagon is working with AI, dude. So I'm sure AI has already been, a DARPA thing for a minute. And now it's Pentagon. This is crazy, man. I am horrified, dude. Taking over for Task Force Lima, the new AI rapid capability cell, ARCC or ARC, will test cutting-edge large language models and other Gen AI tools for everything from war planning to cybersecurity. What if you could use generative AI and then combine it with physics simulations to have some sort of like emergent war game simulation, right? Like what if you could use generative AI to create some sort of emergent war gaming simulation that you could use to strategize? I keep burping, y'all. It's the coffee. That you could use to strategize the planning and military strategy and stuff like that. That would be an interesting use case for generative AI. Dungeons and Dragons, bro. Yo, okay, anyway, so the Pentagon today announced it's setting up a new AI rapid capabilities cell meant to accelerate the military's adoption of large language models and other forms of generative artificial intelligence. The new AIRCC, pronounced ARC, wouldn't it be ERC? Wouldn't it be like ERC? Like, or dude, that looks like an air conditioning company, bro. Like, you'd see that on like the side of I'm losing it. Will implement the recommendations of Task Force Lima, which was created in 2023 to get a handle on the unexpected explosion of Gen AI, and it is now officially disbanded, although some as yet unnamed members of the task force will move over to the Accelerator cell, which is now so Task Force Lima. Let's just real quick pop over and see what Task Force Lima was all about, how to tame your chatbots. They got nothing on Task Force Lima. Look, Task Force Lima apparently seems like it was a dedicated a program to develop recommendations on how to move forward, right? That's what I'm getting from the context of all this. Task Force Lima was more like an initial research and planning phase, right? And so now that they've moved on from that planning phase and they have a game plan on how to approach this, they're moving on to their new AIRCC, this accelerator cell, to then take those recommendations and implement them for the purpose of accelerating this technology for military application. That's what I'm getting from the context of all this. Over the course of 12 months, Task Force Lima analyzed hundreds of AI workflows and tasks, from warfighting functions and command and control decision support to enterprise management functions like financial management and healthcare information management. You can't have an LLM do that. Yo, I think you would need AGI that was heavily trained. Yo, you can't. I don't think you can the amount of data, and then an LLM, it's only working on its past data set. I don't think a LLM would be a good use case for actual command and control decision support, unless we're talking about that whole planning and strategizing like we were talking about before, Dungeons and Dragons style. You know what I mean, dude? Like from there I can see if that's what they mean. But warfighting functions, I would not trust an LLM system with warfighting functions, dude. Man, that's scary. And enterprise management, healthcare, dude. AI adoption by adversaries like China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea is accelerating and poses significant national security risks, or poses extra attack vectors that we could use to take advantage of them. Okay, so dude, it's not just a one-sided situation. Who knows if they're adopting it too fast, and if they're not really managing these hallucinations correctly, and if this is something that we would be able to take advantage of by not jumping in as fast as they are. Okay, we are taking an all-hands-on-tech approach to ensuring the U.S. continues to lead the way and accelerate DoD adoption of these tools, man. Yo, don't let FOMO have you rush into things before you use a methodical approach and critical thinking skills to get a methodical understanding of this, man. Because, I guess they're talking about swarm drone technology. I don't know, man. You would have to use it in applications where it's low cost, low risk, to lives and financial cost, because it's like, dude, these hallucinations, it's only working on the data set you feed it. It's accurate only until it's not, only until there's an emergent threat that is not a part of that data set that it's been trained on. Dude, wild. AIRCC will be run by CDAO, okay, but work closely with Defense Innovation Unit, the Pentagon's outreach arm to Silicon Valley and other centers of private sector innovation nationwide. The Plum told reporters today it'll have $100 million in funding to launch efforts on our fronts. I hope there's extensive testing in all types of emergent threats. Dude, I mean, it's what? It's $40 million in small business innovation research, SBIR grants, and small non-traditional companies working on Gen AI. We've got about 400 initial applications. Okay, so this is an accelerator. Okay, cool. So what they're doing is creating an incubator being funded by the DoD to allow private companies to access finances in order to promote the acceleration of this. So Lima was all about how to promote the development and acceleration of AI technology so it can be viable. Okay, this is good. This is good than them just immediately going, hey, we're going to start trying to create products for the military based on this. Technology, and confusingly, this funding comes from the budgets of federal fiscal years 2024 and 2025. However, Plum said all $100 million come from research, development, test, and evaluation funds, aka RDTE, which can be used up to 3 years after the end of the year of which it was appropriated. Wow, man, the government's got all types of ways to keep taxpayer money and keep spending it. When will that happen? I can't give you a specific timeline because it really depends on the performance of the technology. Good. Plum told reporters, take it slow, man. This stuff, dude, really needs to be vetted. That said, she noted proudly when Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks challenged the CDAO and partners to come up with a global data sharing system for the combatant commands known as Combined Joint Global Command and Control. They got a minimum viable capability operational within a year. Minimum viable capability. Okay, what does that mean? And then secondly, Combined Joint Global Command and Control is horrifying. I don't ever want to hear that phrase in reference to our military application ever again. Because, like, dude, we are a sovereign nation, and I am look up my 1966. I have an article on it on the UN plan to disarm all countries worldwide. It's called a Global Disarmament Plan, and it's exactly why I'm horrified of the UN. I also have an article called The Dangers of Centralized Authority, which is all about why else I'm horrified by the UN. So, dude, no, I don't like this whole idea of combined joint global command and control. And not to mention when you're talking about UN and UN peacekeepers and this whole idea of combined joint global command and control as a concept, bro, look up US peacekeepers and how they relate to kids. That's all I'm going to say, because it's horrifying. That was about a 9 to 12 month cycle to get all the way to the MVC for a pretty complex technology, Plum said. The new Gen AI effort will take the same accelerated approach. Indeed, she argued the Pentagon is already moving quickly on generative AI, and at least by its own standards. Today's creation of the new accelerator comes 2 years after OpenAI unveiled ChatGPT, 6 months after the Pentagon stood up its task force Lima to figure out how to harness the explosion in Gen AI. Today, the department is officially sunsetting Task Force Lima to concretely implement their recommendations. Okay, that's what I was thinking earlier, right? They created the recommendations. They were the initial research phase. And now we've got the accelerator that's going to move based on those recommendations. We're establishing the AI-ready capability cell, Plum said. That's ahead of schedule, she emphasized. Task Force Lima did an incredible job. We slated it for 18 months, and within 12 months, they made so much progress and had such a concrete recommendations that we moved to stand up the cell for actual execution. That implies Task Force submitted its recommendations in August, and it's taken 4 months to get the AI Accelerator Cell organized and ready for today's official launch. Those recommendations go beyond. The Gen AI's Accelerator Cell officially launched today. According to the 4-page summary of Task Force Lima's report, CDAO and other Pentagon agencies must work to safeguard the new technology. That includes researching potential security issues unique to Gen AI, which are a whole ton, adapting government classification protocols and security standards, and potentially using Gen AI itself to accelerate the notoriously cumbersome authority to operate procedures. Task Force also calls for DoD to develop and resource comprehensive acquisition strategy. Whoa, wait a second, hold on. They want to use Gen AI to accelerate the cumbersome authority to operate procedures? By authority to operate, Do they mean chain of command systems, like approval for actions? That seems like a not safe use case for Gen AI. That seems like, whoa, talk about safeguards, man. You would need all kinds of safeguards, man, to be able to have AI start operating and streamlining the authority to operate procedures. I mean, it's even, I think it could be considered a good thing that the authority to operate procedures are considered cumbersome, bro. I mean, like, whoa. Task Force also calls for DoD to develop a resource comprehensive acquisition strategy for Gen AI. A resource comprehensive acquisition strategy. So that means, I suppose, bringing companies, private companies, under the DoD's umbrella, which would be difficult to figure out at any time, especially on the cusp of a presidential transition. It's worth noting that TF Lima's original 18-month deadline would have it delivering its recommendations in early 2025, after the Biden administration and Biden appointees like Plummet officially left office. Oh, interesting. And so it's ahead of schedule, huh? Is this connected to what they were seeing regarding the election? Probably not, to be honest. Once and future President Donald Trump and his advisors have publicly blasted the Pentagon for being too slow and bureaucratic to adopt new tech, while his inner circle includes tech enthusiasts and AI entrepreneurs who have called for a Manhattan Project style push on AI. While specific Biden AI efforts may go under the axe, AI as a whole is expected to keep accelerating. I will transition at the end of this administration, but the rest of CDAO will still be here, and of course, the mission continues, Plum said. We've seen a broad, widespread support in this administration from an incoming team. We see it across the aisle, bipartisan in Congress, and we see it bicamerally in the House and Senate. We see it here in D.C. and Silicon Valley and internationally. Right, everybody's jumping on the AI train. Nobody is paying attention to the Dune or the book Dune, movie Dune, that whole lore of how AI almost destroyed their society, and they said, screw it, but whatever. You know, it's all fine. It's all fine. Everything's well and good, guys. Anyway, I thought those were some interesting things, right? That was hilarious yesterday, the dichotomy between these two narratives, and then that was a good segue into, yo, man, the Pentagon and AI. Yo, you combine that with those robot dogs? Oh my God, yo, it's over. It's over, man. Yo, cyberpunk, futuristic, technocratic society, man. It's here, dude. It's here. They're just waiting to let us know about it. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next segment.